But yeah, no, those aren't bad. It's kind of because you also get like, so I have 15 minutes between each set. Each set's only 10 push-ups. So it's nowhere near as bad. Like if you're just trying to knock out 100 push-ups in one sitting, or like 2 or 3 sets, you'd absolutely be far more exhausted. And that said, my understanding with this fitness, and I'm not an expert, is that doing a lot more sets in smaller repetitions is better than doing a lot fewer repetitions, or doing a lot fewer sets with more repetitions, if that makes sense. Basically, you want to kind of prolong it as much as possible because that gives you a better it keeps your heart at a more elevated level that's not extreme longer. But I am not an expert at all in this. I used to do lots of stuff related to fitness and training and nutrition and all that way back in like high school, but that is some severely out-of-date information more than likely. Because I've also noticed we've made or not noticed, I've also been made aware that we've made a lot more advances in our understanding of how nutrition and diet and all that work. That a lot of the things that we have believed for the longest time were correct-ish, but not truly correct, if that makes sense. Like they were along the lines of correct, but the reasoning we thought they were correct was not right. And as such, like, we have a little bit better understanding of some things. Like, I remember there was talks about with, like, sodium intake, for example, that apparently having a fluctuating sodium intake is worse than having, like, a moderate or high. That basically, if you're bouncing between high, low, and all over the board, it's more difficult for your body to adapt than if you're consistently, like, medium-ish high. That said, don't take my advice on this. I am not a nutritionist. Consult an actual nutritionist. They'll know a hell of a lot better than I will. I just have a passing interest in it for trying to be healthy. I personally should talk to a nutritionist in general. Frankly, it's one of the things I wish was part of just core school curriculum. It's like, let's dig into nutrition and get into how stuff works. And it's fine that we have to adapt our understanding, because that's how science works. It's not like we prove something and therefore that is the way it always is. I know there's definitely people like to poo-poo. It's like, well, we don't know. It's like, well, this is our best understanding based on the circumstances we have now, and we will refine that understanding as time goes on. Like, once upon a time, Newtonian physics were our best understanding of physics. We've since learned on the, you're really squinting your eyes and being imprecise, you can say, yes, they're right, but they're really not right. They're gross oversimplifications of the reality. But they're good enough to get us onto the moon. Plus, they're a great stepping stone for teaching kids, like, early physics versus going, okay, you want to learn how fast the ball's going to roll? Well, first you have to take on, wind resistance and drag and gravity relative to the objects based on the distance and all, and it's just, the kid's eyes would gloss over. It's like, or we can pretend most of that stuff doesn't exist and just say, if I hit the ball this hard and the ball weighs that much, the ball goes that way. Even though knowing we're doing a deeply flawed math, it's close. Let's see. Longclaw says, I never really learned about nutrition. I remember we talked about our bodies needing fats, carbs, proteins, and stuff, but that's about it. Yeah. Darstar says, there is a streamer I mostly watch. His name is Mr. Nice Gamer 88. He also does push-ups for the same amount of your channel points. You can redeem 4 push-ups without a time gap for the 1K potatoes. Okay, so you get way less. Yes, we did find the book and I did cash it out. It was honestly like the second bookshelf we looked at too. It was like we walked in, we peeked at one, nope, got to the next, like, all right, well, we got our book. I think we checked one more bookshelf and find the only magazine other than the Gorilla Radio I was missing. I never worry about the Gorilla Radio because it's so rare. And it's also completely unneeded. But yeah. Yeah, like, I do feel that's kind of stuff that I really wish here in the States we were way better about. I can't speak for any other countries because I have no idea what you have for your curriculum. Yeah, so what you're saying is, basically, he doesn't have a cap, as it were, but you redeem for less push-ups per thing, and that's fine. Ultimately, the big thing is to be careful to not go and put yourself in a situation where you can get slammed with, you know, 200-300 push-ups real fast, because that can legitimately hurt you, like actually cause you injury. I mean, and it just, and this isn't me calling it an or smirk, but just for example, you know, he's been out of practice on his push-up game. Said, hey, you know what, I'm gonna match you right as I increase my push-ups. And he definitely put himself in a little bit of a hurt locker for it the first day. Gotta pace yourself. It's better to more reliably do less workout than to unreliably do more workout, if that makes sense. Yep, no, I'm very well aware of Mr. Nice Game Radiate. He pops into the channel. He's actually one of our longest running subs on the channel. Very nice guy. Highly recommend. I'll actually probably give him a shout out here in just a second because I don't think I've given a shout out in a while. Just our schedules have prevented us from really being able to raid each other at all. Drop a shout out. Because highly recommend. Very fun channel. I know he's finished the challenge, but he had his he had a challenge that he came up with called The Works. Yep, and that's what I have to do, and that's the risk of doing like inconsistent high volume exercise where you like, you know, you don't do good with your exercises for a while, and then you slam it real hard, and then your body's all sore, and like kind of, and this is not any type of science based behind it. Kind of the rule we had when I was doing weight training was, if you do a workout and you're sore for more than a day, you just assume you've done more damage than good with that workout. Being sore the next day is fine. But if you're sore like 2 days later, you've done something wrong. You've hurt yourself. Because you can absolutely do a workout, think you're doing good, and you're just doing a workout after workout after workout, and all you're doing is damaging your body because you're either bad technique or too much or whatever it is. You should not be sore for more than a day for a typical workout. And even then, once you get into a good rhythm, like being sore the same day, sure. Being sore the night, absolutely. If you're sore the next day, it's like, you probably pushed yourself a little bit farther than you should have. You shouldn't be like your characters in Project Zomboid, where they wake up the next day and their status is agony. That is not a normal or healthy workout. Yep, and that is one way of dealing with making a workout to adjust it. Like, one, you can reduce your reps, of course. You can also adjust the workout itself to be less intense. So like if you're lifting weights or whatever, reducing the weights, you're doing the same lifts, just not as much weight per lift. For like push-ups, squats, all that sort of stuff you can do where you don't go quite as low. Like there's things you can do. But it's be mindful of your body. And then plus, it's also one of those things that if you're going hard on your fitness, and because of how long it takes, how much work it is and all that, you just don't keep up with it, it's not going to do you as much good. It's very much like, there are some games who do a good job of representing it where you have to work out regularly and consistently for it to do anything meaningful. You can't just, you know, slap out a couple of push-ups and walk away and consider yourself done. That's how it is in real life. If you just do like 10 push-ups and that's all you do, it's not gonna matter. Even if you do like 1,000 push-ups, it's just like the one time, it's not gonna get you anywhere. it's better to do like the 10 push-ups consistently each and every day, or whatever your rotation on fitness is. Honestly, you want a rotation, not every day. Like, that is one thing I need to figure out how I'm going to facilitate, is instead of doing just push-ups, I should be doing like, okay, this day we do push-ups, that day we do squats, this day we do, I don't know, jumping jacks. Like, have some rotation that works out different muscles. Sit-ups. Because if you just slam one set of muscles again and again and again. Come on, don't fight. Let me get you off the... Okay. Like, you will have, you'll have a very... What's the word? Not muscle or body dysmorphia. That's when you have the person who's like... They juice up on steroids and they lift all the time and they skip all their leg days, and now their body is just all sorts of wacky proportions that it limits their motion in certain ways and all that. That's body dysmorphia. That's a person who's worked out to the point to the detriment of their body. And it almost always requires you to do some really not advised things to get there. Like, those are the people who they go to lower their arms, and they can never quite put their arms at their side because the muscles are just too big. Yeah, you don't want to do that. It's not actually healthy. It's pretty bad for you. Alright, so for the moment I'm just cruising around like the buildings back here. I'm not expecting too many zombies, but we're just going to cruise around these buildings back here. Clear out any zombies we see. Because you've done a good job hitting downtown area, but I never did loop back to this back area. We also finally get to see our character's hair, and as some of you might remember, we started out, I don't remember where her hair started out as, but it ended up getting just long hair in general. And at one point we found a razor and we just shaved shaved her bald. You're like, why would you shave her bald? It's like, yeah, it's fine. You know, it's a razor. Realistically, you are not giving yourself some like fancy part or something with a razor. You're either lobbing hair off or you're leaving it there. Like, you could do like a mohawk for styling where you just shave off the sides and leave the center or something. But outside of removing hair en masse, you're not going to get very far with razor. Hey, Colo, how's it going? Alright, I saw your other zombie friends going here. I don't like fishing around in here because of all the trees, but there are some good-looking cars in here. Hey, how's it going? Is that Cancun the Second? Or Cancun the Second? I don't know how you pronounce it. Just let me know. Hey, how's it going? I'm going to check one thing real fast. Okay, because there is a chance that we will be playing multiplayer later. I was just checking to see if there's any updates from the others. Like, under my current understanding, we are going to play, but I always leave it open because I do know by streaming, it does force the group to kind of play the same game all the time. And for a lot of people, that's just not what they want. So I get it. Very dangerous to be in a car that you cannot start with a busted window with zombies approaching. Gotcha. That's kind of like what happened with my screen name. Like, I came up with it. Oh, those are parked so close together I physically can't get to its trunk. Fair enough. Like, you know, I had the way I pronounced it in my head and everything. But then people are like, oh, well, is it this? This? Like, look, you can call it what you want. It's fine. And I do understand people are like, no, I want to get it right. It's like, no, I get it. I'm the same way. But it's like, with how many people get it wrong for me, it's just like, you know what, whatever. I say roll. If you want to go rual, it's fine. Like, that's close enough. I know who you're addressing. That's what matters to me. Yep. You'd say storage like forge, and it is storage. It's very, very close to forge. Yep. Royal storage. You know what? I have actually not had anyone ever say royal storage before. I have heard rural storage so many times. And there are definitely people like, haha, I've come up with an original joke. It's like, no, you haven't. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're probably like the 200th person who's told me that joke. And like, it was fine the first time. And it's not like it upsets me or anything now. It's like, it's been told, man. It's been told. But royal storage? That's a new one. I haven't actually had anyone say that. Alright, I'm now paranoid about approaching these vans. Because I've already had one close call where we almost got killed because a zombie was behind that, and line of sight wouldn't permit me to see it. These cars are all pretty worthless. Like, a bunch of them are in pretty good shape. Like, honestly, if I took the time, we'd probably get some good stuff out of this. Alright, it's time to go. You know, for as many windows as we've shattered, I am really surprised it's the first alarm we've had. Like, we have broken so many windows. That's what, check this one out. Oh, come on. How many horses you packing? I know I should be moving, but how many horses you packing? 400 horses? Ooh, you are... Never mind, you are a hot mess. I got excited a little too early now when a 6% gas tank can't carry more than, like, 13 units of gas. Hot mess. Alright. Hey, Lulu, how's it going? And hello, Valkyrie. I assume you meant to do the minus 100, but your numlock was not turned on, so you didn't get your numbers. Or you just were putting minus. That's possible too. And I am doing good. Killing zombies, setting off car alarms on accident, just going, you know what? We've killed enough zombies. We don't need to retreat. Maybe we should, but we don't need to. I'm suddenly coming to the realization that while we're not seeing many zombies here, more than likely when I go to my car, it is going to be a hot mess of zombies because I believe we had the radio and the engine running. But that is 5 minutes from now, me's problem. Right now, I poke zombie with knife. Posture check and 10 push-ups, so bear with me for a moment, because I actually am doing, like, relatively good posture. I do need to adjust this chair. Its back is not set the way it's supposed to be. And I don't know, like I've been messing with the bars trying, or the handles trying to get to do what I want to, and it's not cooperating, and it's frustrating. But I need to remember to do it when I'm not on stream, because that's the only time I go, oh right, the chair's still not adjusted right. It's not like bad or anything, like it was actually like, oh, I'm just at a really bad angle. I would stop because I'm not going to hurt myself. But it could be better. Alright, so I'm going to go get those push-ups, and I'll be right back. And we still do have a cap on the push-ups of 100 per stream. Eventually we'll raise that. I think the next way I'm going to raise it is instead of making it like each redemption's more push-ups, I'll probably just add a couple more redemptions to the stream. Or what I might even do is I might not actually increase the redemptions for push-ups for the stream. I might just I might instead approach it by just adding some other thing like sit-ups. It's probably what I should do. Oh hush, all you zombies. Wait it. I did not think you were on this side of the fence. Alright. You go and have fun with your D&D, and thank you for the lurk. May the dice be kind. Yeah, downside is like where there's all these cars here, even if I want to take half these cars, all these trees growing in here make it real annoying to deal with. Now the zombies, if they're close enough to, so there's an opening up here. If they're close enough to that opening, they will path around it. They'll like figure out how to get around it and come after me. But they're a long ways from the opening. They don't know how to find the way to me, so they'll just kind of like stand at the fence and look at me angrily and menacingly. But otherwise, leave me alone. I feel like there's more cars buried. Yeah, like that car over there. I feel like there's another car over here somewhere, but I don't really want to go poking my nose through trees if I can help it, because that's dangerous. Excellent, got some extra gas tanks. Always good. Or gas cans, not tanks. Yeah, 3 gas cans and 2 water bottles. Nothing to be, unhappy about. Cole asks, when would I play Project Zomboid? I would already disassemble all those cars here. Oh, yeah. 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 When I visited that, I blockaded the entryway with an auto. Yep, and just so you know, if, like, by all means, that's an improvement of defense. For those who are thinking, oh, clever, you can just put a car here and make it invincible. It doesn't, zombies can actually crawl under the cars if they have reason to. But another thing that I believe it's a bug, if you put a car close enough to these chain link fences and the zombie crawls under it, there's the ability that they'll just glitch right through the fence and just bypass it. But it's only when a car is close enough and they crawl under it. That said, it's still not a bad defense. It's just so you know, like there is no, outside of like bugs or stuff, no way to make a perfect defense in this game. The closest you can get is going to the second floor of a building and then destroying the stairs and then having like rope ladders to go up and down. Nope, television is not invincible. Once upon a time it was, but it is not anymore. Neither are microwaves, neither are half the stuff that people say. Like, there's still YouTube videos out that say, oh, it's invincible, all that kind of stuff. That is out-of-date information. The only way to make a quote-unquote, like, perfect defense base kind of thing would be to go into your settings and set it so that zombies cannot destroy player structures. Which you can set when you generate your world. Anything else is not perfect defense. But I think that's good. I think it's a good thing that it works that way. If you want to have an indestructible base, you gotta go to your settings and say so. No cheesing stuff because there's a bug. Because it makes no logical sense in the real world for a zombie to be incapable of destroying a TV. But yeah, I want to say that was either a minor update right before multiplayer, or maybe around the same time? Yeah, and that's fine. Like, if you want to mod and do settings and go, I am deliberately making my world, you know, so I can just have a perfect defense, cool, do it. You know, whatever settings you find fun, congratulations. You're playing the game correctly. But I think for the base game, there shouldn't be... Like, for the base game, the default should not be that there is something that you can do to make yourself safe. Like... It isn't the game isn't, you know, this is how I made an impenetrable fortress that the zombies couldn't get into. The story of the game is, this is how you died. Cocoon the Second says, I set my worlds to super easy settings usually. I just want to chill and build, and occasionally zombie now and then. Yep, no, and that's totally fine. And there are a lot of people who go, you know what, zombification? No, don't want it. Zombie pop, turn it down. Thank you for the follow. A binary comp. Welcome to the stream. Yeah. Valkyrie says the turrets would hurt the zombies in a radius, but they don't have any visible turning animation. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Usually when you're making those kinds of like really in-depth mods, or I shouldn't say in-depth, those mods that have significant change to the way the game plays, you do usually end up with some jank, unless the mod really hangs around for a while and they get the chance to, you know, continue to grow and refine it. So like that's those ones that like someone finds some like niche game and they go, oh well, I'm gonna take this niche game's mechanic and put it in Project Zomboid. Expect it to be super janky, at least on the first version. Yep. And that's fine. I know a lot of people who do it. I personally, like, to me that changes the entire, like, that changes the game you're playing, and that's fine. But like, I like my game having a lot of risk. Really? Alright, well, helicopter. Apparently. I've had the radio on the whole time, I've just not been paying attention to it at all. Alright, so we have the helicopter going. Oh, they actually reformatted this window so it fits properly. Nice. So basically, the rules on whether or not we survive the helicopter for the prediction is if I take any injuries from this moment until I go to sleep after the helicopter has left, and that injury proves to be fatal, then we did not survive. Even if it takes me 2 or 3 days to actually die from it. If we don't take any injuries and I manage to go to sleep or whatever, then, you know, clearly we didn't die. My intention of how I plan to approach this helicopter is there's a big parking lot over here that we cleared. I'm going to go over to that parking lot and we're going to fight from there. There is a very good chance I'm going to get overwhelmed and have to leave, but I'm not too worried about actually dying. Anyways, let's get this started. First... Oh, I had the radio off. That explains it. So first, I want to get out of this back alley area to get out to the open parking lot. Because if I get to the open parking lot, life gets way easier. And normally, recently, I've been turning off the car so zombies don't get caught up on it. But this car has been an absolute bear to start recently. So I'm going to just leave it running, knowing it's probably going to get swamped. So yeah, so this is where I'm planning on making my stand, is this parking lot right here. Because it's got a nice, big open space. Leave the car right here in the middle. Yep, and I mean, we do need some people taking both options. Otherwise, no one gets anything. And while we have cleaned out the west half of Riverside pretty decently, and we've cleaned out the main drag quite a bit, that's pretty much all we've cleared out of the area. So there's going to be... I am worried about like the cul-de-sac to our east having a bunch of zombies that come this way. I am worried about there's this cul-de-sac down here having a bunch of zombies. We'll see. Ooh, spear. Don't mind if I do. Of course I don't have room for it. My shirt says, I find your lack of security disturbing. Yep, a very IT shirt. It's actually for a very IT product. I don't actually care for the product too much, if I'm being honest. I'm not going to say what it is. But 10 out of 10 for the shirt. Good marketing on their part. Even if just I don't care for the product. Yep. So that's the first pass. If it's one pass, this will be easy, breezy, lemon squeezy. But usually you get 2 or 3 passes is what you get most of the time. You can have as many as 4 on a 1-hour day that I've seen. And you can have 1 passers, but they're pretty rare. Yeah, but I don't want to, like, so it's nothing wrong with the product. I want to be clear about that. That's the reason I'm not saying, like, I'm not saying it's like, it's not like they're up to no good. It's not they're data harvesting or anything like that. Like, it's nothing like that. It's just, I find their product annoying in implementation. But it is a specific form of 2-factor authentication product. Well, right. And I mean, frankly, I find most of Norton's products to be absolutely awful these days. Like that, I'll say. I'll just say it, it's Okta. It's a single sign-on solution, but I don't like a lot of the way it's implemented. Again, nothing wrong with the product, just not personally a fan. That said, it's not like I can go, oh, this is specifically the product I like more. It's just that specific product. Really, just 1 pass in the helicopter, that's it? I always feel like I've gypped people out of points who vote against it. Granted, I didn't know that was going to be the case. Yeah, okay. I mean, to be fair, both those could be an issue. Like, if the product I'm buying from you is not a crypto miner, then it should not be crypto mining. Yeah, usually it comes back by now, though. Like, that's, like, I'm chilling for a little while longer, because why not, but usually by now it's come back. But I, too, do not trust the helicopter. Yep, we are at 33,000 zombie kills. We mayhaps have killed a zombie or two. Yeah, I think that helicopter was just a one-pass wonder. Where's my potatoes? Am I out of potatoes? I shouldn't be out of potatoes. Am I out of potatoes? Oh, I'm already out of potatoes. Alright, well, I guess I go home now. Sure, rhetorical answer. Let me catch up. So NG Saint says, can you set alarms in this to wake up at a certain times? Absolutely, and I can even show you how to do that. So if I were to go, you just have to be wearing a digital watch and not paused. If you were to go digital watch and you set alarm, you have your times here, you just tick that, and you have an alarm turned on. And then another thing you do is, like, there's a little spot up here that you can turn on and off your alarm when you've set it. And let's see. Yep, and Pankwar's already got it. I believe they'll always wake up to the alarm. I mean, if, like, the only way you could see that maybe not being thing is if the game had a mechanic where if you got drunk enough you could sleep through it, but I've never tried. But yeah, like, I've had my character be, like, blackout tired, you know, where you're ridiculously tired, you set your alarm for 10 minutes after you go to sleep and you still wake up to it. And you had a suggestion, rhetorical? I'm just curious. Like, if it was a joke or something that I missed, then that's fine too. Because I see you did, like, the lull thing. Let's say, with the way your luck has been, your channel points should be katanas. You know, I do need to name my channel points something. That I agree. My only hesitation with saying, like, katanas or something like that is I'm deliberately trying to avoid making whatever the points are game specific. Because I have been pretty open that while I am absolutely loving Project Zomboid and I'll probably be playing this game for a long time, I am very deliberately trying to not make myself a, you know, blank game streamer. Because, you know, that isn't good for the health of your channel long term. Yeah, I know. I probably should, because I mean, I just haven't named it. I need to do some. Storage stacks? You know, honestly, so far of the recommendations, I like storage stacks. How's it going, Ampersand? Raw stonks? I'd say storage stonks over raw stonks, personally. Yeah, Ampersand and me are on the same page with that one. Like, I know there's a delay from when you see it to what I see, so I don't know who said it first within the actual universe out there. But it's pretty close. Because, like, I finished it as it showed up. So, both of us came up with the same idea independently and then verified. So, storage stonks. I can go with that. Yeah, that is a question. No, that's fair. Like, I don't think yours is, like, a bad suggestion. Is, this way the way I wanted to go? I think, yeah, this is the way I want to go. What is... Oh, yeah, the picture? Yeah, I don't know. Because, like... I could, you know, do a quick little... Like, little, what's the word I'm looking for? The hat. I could make it the gray, Why am I blanking on the hat? The word for it. My mind's saying fedora, and I know a fedora looks more like a cowboy hat. It has nothing to do with the hat my character wears. Why is my mind a blank? So, honestly, the press boy was what I was going to make the hat when I first created the character. Beret, that's the word I've been struggling with. For some reason, my brain just did not want to remember beret, even though I said it so many times in the stream. But yeah, originally when I was making that character for GTRP, I was going to give them a press boy hat, but GTA doesn't have a press boy hat, so I had to do the beret instead. You like Pink Raru's idea. Which one? Raw coin, a gold coin with an R with a line through it? My only hesitation with raw coin is it sounds too much like a cryptocurrency in my mind. And like, well, way back in the day I had Bitcoin, like when it was worth a couple pennies and all that. And I got out when it was worth, I can't remember. Wait, did I get one? Is that like $1? I got it when it was really cheap, and it had gone up by more than 10 times, and I was like, I'm out. Oh, like, so storage stonks that just have like a, I mean, it could actually just be a coin with like the regular like dollar symbol through it, because just 1 bar instead of 2. I would definitely not put 2 S's in the coin, because, no. Big nose. Big nopes. All the nopes. Oh yeah, like, I would hands down be like, absolutely not. So it'd just be basically like a coin with a dollar symbol, just 1 bar instead of 2. I mean, to be fair, Rhetorical, I think that gets you banned outside of Germany, too. What about 3 bars? We'll make one go the other way across it. Gold bar might work. Rhetorical says, I will disagree with you. Let me pause so I can actually read that without slamming into a tree. I'll actually disagree with you on that, Rawl. I would go into detail, but that would be getting into politics. No, that's fair. Oh, and that's why I went to pause. I had tapped the brake, so it's not too bad. Like, we took like 5% damage. But yeah, no, I do know when it comes to a lot of that stuff that, the way it is handled in different places varies differently a great deal. And that is problematic for a number of reasons. Yeah, pause and straightaways. Yeah. And I'm definitely someone who is of the mindset that there is, like, that kind of stuff has no place anywhere. Like, if you're not talking about academically going through that kind of stuff, academically going through stuff like teaching history, by all means, get into it. But outside of that context, you know, it doesn't have a place in, like, normal everyday entertainment and that kind of crap. That's people just trying to be edgy. Well, you hope it's people trying to be edgy. There's also people like seriously believe that garbage. But let's not delve into that. It is what it is. The only reason I've ever okay with it is because sometimes I need to get some aggression out, and those... Well, I am personally not one to condone violence and all that. Yeah, no, I got you. I got you. It's a joke and all that. It's like, well, and that's exactly where I was going with that. It's like, well, I normally do not condone violence. Well, this is very entertaining to think about. You know, even if you disagree with people, even if they're despicable people, maybe, you know, maybe don't hit people, but still. And I understand that's a joke. Like, that's not me being... That's me doing it more for the channel than for, like, anything like corrective action or whatever. That said, when you run into those people and you're a business owner, kindly show them the door and tell them don't come back, because that is the appropriate way of dealing with people like that. They say, that crap's not welcome here or pretty much anywhere else. There's David the Gnome. This is important. Where do we put David the Gnome? Let's start a creepy gnome, like... Yeah. We'll start like a little walkway of gnomes. Oh yeah. No, and I've put business owners in that type of place where there's been a person... I will say, it's been a bar, and we've all heard the old thing about, like, when you tolerate certain people in your bar, congratulations, you've become that kind of bar type thing. I won't get into the whole story of that. But, there has been bars I've gone into, yeah, that, I've seen people who have, like, very clearly, and it's not like it's a tattoo that maybe they fell into that crowd, they got out of it, but now they can't get the tattoo off themselves, like, I mean, on their clothing, wearing, like, you know, the Iron Cross and all that. And basically going, it's like, hey, I like this establishment, but here's the deal. You're either doing business with them or you're doing business with me, because I won't support someone who does business with them. So I've definitely got people thrown out of bars for it. Because I have no tolerance for that kind of stuff. And if they had said no, I would have not come back to the bar. I guess we just sit these in the ground. Alright, let's add to our bed. So we actually, when we were first building this place, so this middle room was the first part we built. So, we didn't have the outer wall, we got attacked by zombies, and they didn't destroy anything except for half the freezer. The weird thing is, both freezers work just as well. This freezer uses half as much power as this freezer. So it's, think about the freezer like, this is one unit of freezer, this is one unit of freezer, this is one unit of freezer. That's how the game handles it. So I have 3 pieces of freezer as far as the game's concerned. That said, we actually haven't had more than like a zombie or 2 show up in a extremely long time here. We got the water bottles. Keep the garden hoe on us. Oh, we'll drop the batteries off. So yeah, and the worst thing is, I can't pick up when the freezer's broken like that. You can't pick it up; it won't let you. I can't destroy it without like a sledgehammer or something. So I'm stuck with this half a freezer. This is the life we live. I'm gonna grab one of these sleeping tablet things, because I keep saying I should, and then I keep not doing it, but I'm remembering now, so I'm doing it. If I get a sledgehammer, I can destroy it. You know, just gotta find one of them super elusive sledgehammers. Pangro says, you need to spend one stream roll doing nothing but decorating the base and doing decoration, material gathering, runs, posters, not... I mean, yeah. Yeah. So I kind of like the way we've been juggling the responsibilities of stuff, just because, like, I'll spend a little bit of time on the base. Because actually, now I think about it, aren't we supposed to have fog tomorrow in game? I think that was tomorrow that we're supposed to have fog. So since we're back here, we'll probably just, like, I mean, I need to fish. Because we need to bulk up a little bit. Get rid of the hand axe. Oh yeah. No, that's fun. Like, I actually enjoy that part. And that's kind of, you know, either when we know the weather's going to be bad or I'm just like, you know, like, I've made a comment a couple times. One of the reasons why I won't typically do these runs back to back is because they can be pretty rough in your hand after a while. Alright, so I don't need that right now, because it provides me no protection and whatnot. Right, and the only way you find those is by driving around to find them. So yeah, we're up to 16 katanas in the katana bed.